A discussion on the impending education reforms due to be implemented next year was chaired by Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya in Batticaloa. Teachers, principals and top authorities attached to the Ministry of Education serving in the Eastern Province took part in the discussion.
I was able to meet a few teachers being trained to implement these new reforms. I consulted their opinion on the impending reforms. The teacher who had a positive outlook on the reforms also lauded them with high praise. Absolutely nobody raised concern on extending school hours to 2 p.m. On the contrary, a certain person suggested school hours to be extended to 4:30 p.m. Therefore, no teachers serving in the grassroots have raised any concern regarding the extension of school hours by half an hour.
The Prime Minister's remarks elicited impassioned responses by several education sector trade unions.
Government trade unions and unionists affiliated may have agreed to these reforms. However, there are certain unions other than those of the government who worked tirelessly to bring the NPP to power. None of those unions support these reforms. I challenge the government to point to a single trade union that accepts these reforms. The government will seal a disastrous fate if it continues to implement these reforms. This claim lacks any foundation whatsoever. We inquired into the very fact during a meeting on the matter at the University of Colombo, chaired by the Minister of Education herself. She revealed that the National Institute of Education decided to extend school hours by half an hour to 2 p.m. We strongly condemn the arbitrary remark made by the Minister of Education on these impractical reforms.
අපි දැඩි ලෙස එලා දකිනවා.
අපි ගුරුවරුන්ගේ විදුහල්පතිවරුන්ගේ විරෝධතාවය
We have communicated in writing to the Ministry of Education our objection to the remarks made by the Minister. Certain bottlenecks set up by the Palavatta party limit the flow of information to the Minister of Education. That is why the Minister thinks there is no objection to these reforms in the grassroots. If services of principals and teachers are being retained for additional hours, they must be compensated accordingly.
අතිරේක පාරිශ්‍රමිකයක් ගෙවිය යුතුයි.
මේ මාසේ 7 වෙනිදා වෙනකොට
If the government does not withdraw its decision to extend school hours by the 7th of this month, we will launch a one-day trade union action. That strike, which will be the first step in an unimpeded continuous union action, will commence immediately after the term tests end.
වෘත්තීය ක්‍රියාමාර්ගයකට පිවිසෙනවයි කෙනෙක් ප්‍රකාශ කරන්නට කැමතියි.